Toyota's national sales event is on, but these offers won't last long. We've got great deals that go the distance on our winning lineup of 2021s, including Camry, Venza, RAV4, and more. Make a fast break at your Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Right now, get $750 cash back on a new 2021 Highlander.
Cash back from Toyota Sales USA Inc. on select models varies by region. See dealer for details. Offer ends 8/2/2021.
Visit your Albuquerque Santa Fe Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
8th Grady's Performance Center is proud to announce our inaugural softball combine and skills camp on Saturday, August 7th. Compete against the top softball players in the region in a pro-style combine and skills camp using state-of-the-art Zybeck testing equipment. College coaches will be in attendance for evaluations and skill work. This combine and skills camp is designed for middle and high school athletes who aspire to play competitive softball at the next level. High school athletes competing in the morning and 8th graders and below compete in the afternoon. Visit 8gradys.com.
Come share a special evening on Sunday, August 15th at the 47th Annual New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet at the Albuquerque Convention Center. Annual award winners include Gabe Brummel, Fred Holtberg, Mike Lujan, Carmen Corley, UNM Women's Cross Country Team, West Mesa Girls Basketball Team and Coach Manny Otero, Albuquerque High School, Austin Denton Family and Coach Joe Franklin. The ticket deadline is July 30th. Visit 1017theteam.com to buy your tickets at a special price of $75.
Duke City Ready Mix, your local premier concrete and gravel producer. A good neighbor, serving the entire valley. Visit us at qualitymattershere.com or call 877-5777. Duke City Ready Mix. Quality, service, community.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let State Farm agent Art Sandoval help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Art handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call State Farm agent Art Sandoval at 338-0300 today and get to a better state with State Farm.
Hi, Joe O'Neill. New Mexico Solar Group is New Mexico's premier solar service for residential and commercial buildings. Employee-owned and local to New Mexico, NM Solar has locations across the state. They'll design, install, offer zero-down financing, and they get you your return on investment. Save money and own your own electricity with NM Solar Group. NM Solar's 25-year guarantee is why New Mexico turns to NM Solar Group. Save money and own your own electricity. Visit nmsolargroup.com today for a free solar consultation.
Wake up and enjoy the view with your new from Renewal by Andersen of New Mexico. Ditch those drafty old windows and let the certified master installers at Renewal by Andersen of New Mexico renew your home with energy-saving windows built to last. Right now, get 20% off your entire project plus 0% interest for 36 months. Visit renewalbyandersen.com to schedule your free in-home consultation today. Renewal by Andersen of New Mexico, the better way to a better window.
This is one game away from being the NBA champ, being in the history of this game, being always there.
The spin move, the finish! Giannis Antetokounmpo with one of the most iconic performances in the storied history of the NBA Finals. And the slam from Antetokounmpo! The long wait has ended after a half century. The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
I wanted to do it here in the city. I wanted to do it with these guys. Did it.
As summer rolls on, football rolls in, and ACC Network is hitting the road. 14 schools, 14 stars. Come ride with us on the road to kickoff. ACC Football Road Trip, August 4th through the 27th on ACCN and the ESPN app. Go to getaccn.com for instant access.
Wednesday night baseball on ESPN Radio.
Flies the ball to deep left field and gone. Guerrero hits a screaming line drive into the bullpen.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays head to Fenway to face JD Martinez and the Boston Red Sox.
Turns and watches it go. A 3-1 homer for JD Martinez.
The Blue Jays and Red Sox. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Hi, this is Tim Kirkjian with ESPN, and you're listening to ESPN Albuquerque 101.7 The Team.
All right, Greeny with you on ESPN Radio, coming in live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. Our Summer Games news and notes brought to you by California Almonds, representing your country or representing your trivia team. Almonds are natural fuel for the best you. California Almonds, own your every day. The Summer Games continue, obviously. We haven't done a ton of coverage of that because it is my assumption that if you're interested in the Olympics, you're watching them. And that if you're coming to a place like this to hear conversations like these, it's the oldest thing in the entire industry. It's counter programming. I'm not going to sit up here and talk a lot about the Olympics when if you're really excited and interested in the Olympics, which I'm sure many people are, you're watching or listening to coverage of that. But obviously the big topic of conversation, it seems to be globally, is the situation with Simone Biles. And I'll just say this quickly and then move on, because I assume you're watching the coverage of that if you really want to hear someone talk about it at length. But I would just say that what is impossible to ignore as a person who understands mental health issues differently than I think most people do, and that I mean that as myself. I've said many times I'm not a doctor, but I'm a patient, and I do understand some things about it. I don't understand the pressures that everybody lives with, but these things can be a factor in your life whether you live with pressures or not. They can impact anyone at any time in any number of ways. But what is unmistakable are the number of young people, and I consider Simone Biles to be very young. If you're my age, 24 is very young. I get that there are much younger people than her in that sport and in sports in general. But what is unmistakable is the amount of negativity that they are all feeling. The experience that they're having is not what it was for young athletes, and I think young famous people in general, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And social media is, in my opinion, unquestionably the reason for it. Because you have access to all of this feedback at all times. And it's easy for me, a 53-year-old man who's very comfortable in myself, in what I am in my life and in my place in life, and who did not achieve whatever level of fame it is I didn't have until I was a fully formed person. I had children before I had an audience. So it's much easier. I know that it's easy for me to sit here and say, don't read that crap. Don't look at it. I don't look at Twitter mentions. Hemba will tell you, we sit here talking all the time. I will ask him in the meeting, how's this stuff? How are people reacting on Twitter and whatnot? I don't look at it because I know what's there and I know it's not doing me any good to look at it. It's a shame because I know there are a lot of really nice people out there who do send a lot of nice supportive messages. But unfortunately, they are lost amidst the cesspool that is the rest of it. So be it. Twitter has its function in my life. I love it. I use it for exactly how it works for me. I promote the stuff I want to promote. I tweet nice pictures of my family and my dog. I give some sports opinions every now and again, and I get on with my life. And I don't read all of that stuff. But I also get that, again, I'm an older person who did not grow up with this. The currency of conversation in my life was not Twitter and Instagram when I was being formed as a human being. For someone like Simone Biles, and she is to me only the most recent example of this, that stuff is meaningful to her. She considers it real. So for me to say that's not real, it's pointless. It's meaningless. It's patronizing. It would be condescending. It is her reality. Just because it isn't my reality doesn't mean it isn't hers. And what upsets me about it saddens me that someone like her, and I would put Naomi Osaka in the same boat, and many, many, many others who we just don't know about because they're not as well known. But I think the amount of strain and stress and unhappiness, look at the NBA superstars. How many of them seem happy? Like Giannis Antetokounmpo was such a breath of fresh air in large part because he seemed to be having a good time playing the sport. I think social media has that is one of the real detriments that it has been in our society. And I don't have a solution to it. I'm not sitting here telling you we need to do this or that. And again, I know that me telling, I don't know Simone Biles at all, but if I were to talk to her, the first thing I would say to her is, you should be paying no attention whatsoever to what people are saying on social media. You're Simone freaking Biles. You're the greatest of all time at what you do. And of course, I don't understand all of the pressures that are on her. I've never been the greatest athlete in the world, much less the greatest anything. And something that is that public. And again, when you're wearing red, white, and blue as your outfit, that I'm sure brings with it a whole other level of pressure that I don't understand. But I am convinced from the comfortable distance at which I sit that social media and that discourse is, at minimum, part of the reason that this is happening. And again, I would like to think that there are smart people trying to figure out solutions to that, because I do think it is a problem. I think if young people in this country and around the world, but I'm obviously much more intimately aware of this country, if young people in this country, if we are having, I'm not sure what the right word is, epidemic is not the word I'm looking for, if we are having a far greater issue than has been previously the case with mental health, I believe there are a lot of reasons for that, and one of them is the people's willingness to talk about it and be open about it, which I think is a good thing. But I think that social media is a huge factor in that as well. So that's really all there is for me to say about it. I don't have any other great words of wisdom. And again, I can't advise Simone Biles. I'm sure she has great people who are close to her who are giving her any number of pieces of advice. But for whatever little my perspective on this is worth, I really believe that's part of the problem, and I think it is a terrible shame. Because, yes, competing in the Olympics, of course, it naturally is going to come with enormous pressure and enormous expectations, and you do feel the weight of your entire nation and all of that. But it also should be fun. It also is the pinnacle of your professional existence, of your athletic accomplishment. It is the pinnacle of what you have striven or strove, or whatever the word is, strived your entire life to accomplish. And if you were not able to enjoy that at all, that's just a terrible shame. It's no way to live. It's no way to live. It is no way to live reaching the mountaintop and finding that comes with more downside than upside. I can see where that would leave a person feeling very unsettled.
Bye-bye.
So that would be my amateur from a distance, read on what I think is happening there. And I would just say it is a terrible shame. All right, Greeny with you. A reminder that we the last 5 minutes notwithstanding, we usually sit here and have all kinds of silly fun on this program. And we invite you to hang out with it anytime that you would like to. And again, we're live with you 2 hours every single day, coast to coast here on ESPN Radio. But there are other ways to hang out with us. Our show streams on ESPN Plus. It's live for the 2 hours that we're on, and then it lives the entire rest of the day, so you can check it out anytime you want on ESPN Plus. We are also a podcast. You can find both hours of the show posted every single day as a podcast. It is called #Greeny, and it is available anywhere you listen to your podcasts. All right, up next,
The Scoop.
All right, so the scoop is this. Hembo and I were having a little conversation before the show today, and here's what we sort of arrived at. The sport of college football has had three things happen in the last, let's call it 6 weeks, each of which, on their own right, are the single biggest change that has ever befallen the sport, ever. First, they're going to go to 12 playoff teams. Don't let anyone tell you they're considering it. They're going. They're just figuring it out. So from a sport that, in recent memory, the champion was decided by writers, all of a sudden is going to go to a 12-team playoff format. That alone was the biggest change that had ever befallen the sport. Then name, image, and likeness came in, and all of a sudden, Bryce Young, the quarterback of Alabama, has 7-figure endorsement deals before he has even stepped foot on a playing field. That was the biggest change in the history of the sport. And now, Texas and Oklahoma are going to the SEC, which is going to set in motion a series of events, for certain, that are going to completely remake college sports as we know them. And we will live in a world no longer than 3 or 4 years from now. Those are 3 or 4 super conferences, and that's it. I believe the Pac-12 and the Big Ten are going to combine, they're going to merge. Right? The ACC grab them and do anything they can to get them to Notre Dame late. Ultimately, they'll figure out that they have no hope. Will, of course, continue to be the SEC. And everyone is going to be fighting to figure out where they land. Where are these schools in the Big Ten? Gotta find the land. Each of these changes alone would be the biggest change that's ever befallen the sport. They're all happening at roughly the same time. So here's the question I'm sort of pondering today. I'm totally in favor of the fact, first and foremost, if you've listened to me for literally 30 years on the radio now, I've been saying that before it was even really a topic. So because it is the right thing to do, because it was just, in my opinion, completely immoral for the athletes not to be able to profit by their efforts, I'm completely in favor of that. But that's not the question I want to ponder today. The question I want to ponder is not whether these things are good or bad for the sports themselves, whether they're good or bad for the athletes. I want to ponder, is this good or bad for the fan? If you're just a fan of college sports, which I have increasingly become. Again, I grew up in New York City. I was not a huge fan of college sports because in New York City you have pro teams in every sport that you care about. I didn't care that much. I went to college in Chicago. I went to school in the Big Ten, and my perspective has slowly but surely changed to where I live and die with the Northwestern games, and then by extension, I've always rooted for the Big Ten. And now, and in my career today, I've come to appreciate the urgency of college football. Like, I like how important all these games are. So this matters to me as a fan. I'm not particularly a fan of the SEC. Those aren't my teams. I'm not a fan of a Big 12 team, Texas and Oklahoma. I don't have a horse in that race. I'm just asking, if you're a casual fan like me, who's not going to be directly impacted by this, do you think the way the sport is changing is going to make it better or worse for you as a fan? And my inclination is to say it's going to be worse. I think it is going to be worse. Because I think that the continued professionalization of the sport, which all three of those things do, the players are now genuinely being compensated financially. That makes them professionals, no matter how desperately the NCAA tries to cling to the word amateur. They are professionals. The putting together of these super conferences, you're going to have a league. This is going to be a league now. This is no longer going to be a country that is divided up into different subsections of sports. This is going to be one central league, not so differently than the NFL is, or the NBA is, or Major League Baseball, or any of the other sports are. And then, what was the third one? Oh, the 12 playoff teams. Well, what does that sound like? What exactly does that sound like? So I think the differentiation of collegiate sports from the NFL is going to be blurred. And I think if you are not one who has a horse in the race, if you don't, like I think in the southeastern part of this country where I know we have huge audiences, and I welcome that, I love that, I think this will remain incredibly important because that it will not impact your passion for it because this is your whole life. But there are many of us, like myself, who've really come to the party mostly because of the difference. Because it's different, because every game feels like there's a championship riding on it, because I get to watch these kids, and they are still somewhere in the back of my kids who are not getting paid for this stuff, because there are big games in this conference this week and big games in that conference next week, and the team's going to win that one, and the team's going to win that one, and you have something to play for, even if you're still trying to win the conference championship, and that still means something. And somewhere deep in the recesses of my mind, as an alum of a Big Ten institution, the idea that the Big Ten and the Pac-10, which it'll always be to me, but now the Pac-12, the winners will play each other in the Rose Bowl, which I know doesn't happen anymore, but it's still all kind of in there. And it's all going to be gone now. And I do wonder if for casual fans, all these changes will not, in the long run, be beneficial. They will not fuel more interest in the sport than they otherwise would. That might be a completely naive and ridiculous way of looking at it. What do you think?
Well, I think the lines will be blurred, but I'm not certain that is a bad thing. In fact, the people whom I talk to most often about college football are ardent college football fans, and they're the ones that don't like this. I think the casual fans like you and me of the sport actually stand to benefit from some of these changes, because best I can tell, college football has gotten more popular since instituting the college football playoff. That creates a lot more conversation throughout the season. Tripling the size of that tournament, best I can tell, would potentially work wonders for the sport. And that's happened while, Rutgers and Nebraska and, all these different teams traditionally have changed where they played. And it's not obvious to me that that's really been a bad thing for college football. We just sort of get used to those kinds of things. To me, like capitalism and innovation aren't things that should be harnessed. Those are things that should be explored. And I think we'll deal with the unintended consequences when we get there. But I'm not a fan of pulling things back. I think we've sort of entered the Wild West, and I'm willing to at least give it a chance. I'm in favor of most of this.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I don't actually disagree with the word you just said, but I want to go back to the premise. It's not about whether this will make college football bigger. It unquestionably will. Right. College football, from a financial standpoint, from a pure money-making standpoint, will grow exponentially for all of this. Clearly, they'll continue to make their TV deals with us, and the SEC is coming here. It's going to be enormous. And the super conferences, they'll all find their places, and maybe they'll all be here. Some of them will be here. Fox 11, who knows where they'll be. This will grow. That's for sure. And more players will be playing, and more players will want to play football now because they can make money in college. All of that would be good. But I guess I'm just asking, when you're sitting down with your clicker to watch a game on a Saturday, and you're watching, and they're putting up the salary of how much the quarterback is making, and all of a sudden this team is playing that team, and they're going to play again later in the season like they do now in the NFL, because we're in a 2014 conference, and so they play, Ohio State and Michigan are going to play each other twice this year, and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's something about the specialness of it, there's something about the uniqueness of it that I would worry a little bit about losing. Like, tradition and history are a huge part of that sport, because these really are traditions that are passed down, generally speaking, from generation to generation. I'm a fan of this team because my father before me was, and so was his, and so on and so on and so on. And I do wonder about a little bit of that getting lost in the wash. 15 seconds, agree or disagree? Which side of this are you on?
All I'll say is anyone that uses the word clicker maybe does deserve an old man haircut.
This is on fire.
Did I say clicker?
You said
you did. In what context did I say clicker?
Sitting there with a clicker.
Clicker. You said when you turn on your clicker to watch college football game, you use the word clicker instead of remote or literally anything else.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go get my old man haircut.
I kind of like the bangs.
And see how it goes. They're not bangs. All right? Over there, I don't even know what to say. We've run out of time, mercifully, because this has just been pick on the host day, and there's going to be a meeting after the show. I'll tell you that. See you tomorrow on ESPN Radio.
Wednesday on Barton Hine, NFL camps are opening around the league, and I'll be at one of them. Plus, we'll take a deeper look into the 2021 NFL season. Barton Hine, 12 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus.
Winning isn't everything, but man, it feels good, especially when you win in front of the whole world. Well, almonds are winning in snack form. Your natural fuel for your best winning you. And while not all of us are standing on podiums, we certainly can feel like it with a handful of roasted, salted almonds or a sip of an almond milk smoothie, because almonds keep your body energized and your head in the game, even if that game isn't against other countries for massive national glory. California almonds. Own your everyday, every day.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Stop. Before you buy a car from the curb, know your risk. Curb sales is an illegal scheme to draw buyers to roadside or vacant lots and sell unfit cars without consumer protection. These vehicles may have mechanical and safety issues, salvage titles, or may have been totaled. This PSA is brought to you by Forthright Auto Sales in Albuquerque, L&L Auto Sales in Las Cruces, and Sun City Motors in Albuquerque. Go to nmiada.com for details and to find a licensed professional dealer near you. nmiada.com. Hey, all you do-it-yourselfers! Sammy here with Salmon's Do-It-Yourself Stores. Stop into any of our 11 stores around New Mexico and take advantage of our everyday low prices.
The summer heat is here to stay. Whether you need a roof mount AC or a portable cooler, we have you covered all summer long.
New Mexico owned and operated Salmon's Do-It-Yourself Stores, helping you with in-stock inventory, convenient locations, and neighborly savings. Where weekend warriors and professionals shop. SalmonsDIY.com.
You trusted your home or business security to the local company with an armed response. They sold out, and now you got selected. Now your security is on the brink of being bought out by a national corporate giant. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service, IPS. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here and care about your home and business security like it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Hi, Raquel here from JPR. Did you know we have added 2 construction supply stores? The same great customer service you can expect from our gravel team is now available from our team at our supply stores in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Anything from concrete tools and stamps, rebar, whacker-noose and equipment such as plate tampers, concrete vibrators, generators, and even rollers and skidsters. Whether it's a big construction project or a do-it-yourself gravel or concrete job, think of the JPR team. Also your home for the tow-away ready-mix concrete carts. Visit us at jprnm.com for all locations and products.
I once heard a friend say they never had to worry about what the market was doing. Now, I knew they were close to retirement and had put some money in insurance products, so I was curious. He told me he had put some of his retirement savings into a fixed index annuity and that the premium was protected even when the market was down. If you're looking for the peace of mind a fixed index annuity could provide you in retirement, talk to an independent Oxford Wealth advisor. 891-9800, oxfordwealth.com.
Unfortunate fire, flood, or mold in your home or business? Call the experts. That's right, the water extraction experts. Whether it's your home or business and you need a quick response, think locally on water extraction experts. Their promise to you is to provide service within the hour and to restore your home or business to new immediately. Water extraction experts are 5-star preferred for Google and Yelp. Why call anyone else? Unfortunate flood, fire, or mold? It's water extraction experts to the rescue. They'll be there for you, your family, and your home or business. WaterExtractionExperts.com.
It's a new day, and it's coming at you fast. It could be the day your workforce doubles, or the day your visitors quadruple. With Comcast Business, you'll have what you need to take on every twist and turn, like the flexibility to control multiple Wi-Fi networks from anywhere, and the power of the nation's largest gig speed network, the one that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. Every day in business is a big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution starting at $64.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Learn more about how Comcast Business has innovative solutions to help your business be ready for what's next. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits per second service and 1 voice line. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Wi-Fi Pro Extra.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Heard you're buying a car. I brought my calculator.
Dad, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. I found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly. Instead of all that.
You know those things impact your credit score.
Didn't impact my credit score, Dad. Now I'm going to the dealership for a test drive and to make the purchase.
Sounds too easy.
No, it's just easy. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
1017 KQTM Rio Rancho Albuquerque, your hometown radio station.
It's now time for your 1017 The Team Sports Center update. New Mexico owned and operated ESPN Radio 1017 The Team.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. You, me, or nobody is going to
to hit as hard as life, but it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
This is your time. Go out there and take it.
Han Solo. I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
Can't wait.
This is Spartan Han on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus.
Pretty decent result for Green Bay, especially considering all of the drama this offseason.
Packers are now offering concessions to the reigning NFL MVP, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter.
So if Aaron Rodgers still wants to trade after this year, he can get it.
Was this really all over Randall freaking Cobb? Oh my Lord, it is Bart and Han on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. Chris Carlin and for Alan Hahn, along with Bardomingo Gutekunst Scott, who is live today from Jets camp. And in just a little while, we will be joined by Jets linebacker C.J. Mosley. We will also hear from Aaron Rodgers later in this show. Bart and Han on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, and all guests appear via the Goodyear hotline. Bart, the Packers went out last night and traded for Randall Cobb to get Aaron Rodgers' playmate back. And this is what the last 4 months have been about. You talk about your drama kings.
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe what's going on.
And, this, to me, just also disqualifies Aaron Rodgers from being able to make personnel decisions because I felt like it was a better move out there for him. I thought the real move was Odell Beckham, understanding that Odell may be enticed by another team that's a Super Bowl contender, and he may be able to say, I can be the finishing piece that makes them a Super Bowl contender, but we'll never know because it'll never happen. And if I'm going to go into free agency and I got a Baker Mayfield in a run-based offense in Cleveland and I have an opportunity to play with Aaron Rodgers and get the ball thrown to me a bunch of times and go into free agency, I would have went there gladly. Randall Cobb is a good player. I'm sure they maybe have a lot of chemistry, but it's different because Aaron Rodgers, I believe, doesn't realize that Randall Cobb aged a lot more than he has. Now, I know last year he wasn't able to he only started 2 games last year with Houston, and he had 458 yards receiving. And it's not like it's a big drop. It's a bigger gap between
quarterback.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's a bigger gap between Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers than it is between Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers. So him coming back and giving that type of productivity, yeah, he's a good player, but I feel like it was a better player to get out there with him. So now I don't want to hear anything that Aaron Rodgers has to say. He's happy. Randall Cobb has 2 years left on his contract. He's putting the band back together. I don't know. Is he going to call James Jones up? He's going to call Jordy Nelson, bring him back? Like, listen, you can't go in a hot tub time machine, right? The difference is you're the quarterback, and you're going to age a little slower because you play more with your mind than you do with your body. And you're not out there trying to get around some of the youngest, quickest, most athletic corners in the league as they come in there in their prime. You're sitting behind a line, and the only person you're competing against is yourself.
What bothers me about this is I don't see how this was worth it.
Yeah.
Because next year, all right, Rodgers can, at the end of the season, tell Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst that he's not happy and he wants to move on and he wants to go somewhere else. And then they have to try to trade him. And are they fully going to be able to trade him exactly where he wants to go? It's all just bizarre. So let's hear some from Brian Gutekunst, first of all, on what exactly the resolution to the situation was.
Well, I think obviously getting back your playing and going to compete for a championship in 2021, that was kind of the resolution. I think we're working through some things still, to get to that point. But, there was a lot of communication between Aaron and his representatives all summer to kind of to get to where we are now. So we feel good about it. And I think obviously we have a very good football team.
That's fine. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot there where he gives you an idea of what you're talking about. We obviously know that you needed him back. And I wonder now, what else comes out of this? Does Rodgers now have the right to get a trade after the season? Let's hear from Gutekunst on that.
Yeah, no, I'll just say this, that as we, right now, again, there's some contractual things we have not done. And as we go through that, I'll talk about it a little bit more. But what I will say is that, I think Aaron with the time, what he's done for this organization. I think he deserves at least the conversation every year about where we're headed, where he's headed, and to get together and we'll make decisions. The club will always determine what's best for the Green Bay Packers, but I think he's earned the right to have those discussions.
Okay, so he's earned the right, Bart, to have discussions, but he hasn't earned the right to determine exactly where he's going to end up if it's not right for the Green Bay Packers. One thing that really gets lost in all of this, Aaron Rodgers never had a no-trade clause, and Deshaun Watson does. And that's why I still don't really think that all of this crap was worth it, unless all you were looking for was some passive-aggressive attention. Bart, I mean, this wasn't a beautiful mystery. This was a stupid foregone conclusion, as it turned out.
It absolutely was. And everybody else, and I felt like, Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers stood still. And listen, at the end of the day, it's like when your kid has a temper tantrum and you says, you know what, damn it, here's a piece. If it all it costs me is a piece of chocolate for you to shut the hell up, then here you go. And I don't know, I don't want to equate, Randall Cobb to a little piece of, he got a Werther's original, Chris. Exactly. That's what he got. It wasn't even
Grandma
a piece of
handed it over.
It wasn't even a Hershey Kiss, man. He got the Werther's original. It's crazy, man. Like, all that for nothing, man. This lets me know that Aaron Rodgers loves to hear his name in the mouths of the media. And he played this game, and all for nothing. I was hoping that at the end it was like a big piece to a crazy puzzle or something that was able to.
Well, it was supposed to be a beautiful mystery.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Like you said, it was a tragedy because Randall Cobb I don't believe, put you over the hump. I don't know.
No.
But all of that, all this drama, all this going out the wide, trolling people and letting Tom Brady tell you don't have any control, all that for Randall Cobb. You could have came to camp and got Randall. If you just wanted a couple of months off, man, you didn't have to show up to OTAs. I think they would have gave you a hall pass. And now, like, for Jordan Love, what does he feel? Like, Jordan Love has to feel like he's, like, the most undervalued person. He has to say, man, I don't know what's going on. If this guy doesn't opt out next year, then I'm going to be here 3 years. Like, we don't want Jordan Love to be one of those stories. We're talking about and celebrating the 2018 class. Man, will Lamar Jackson get his money? Will Baker Mayfield get his money? Will Josh Allen get his money? You forget it was a guy named Josh Rosen where I feel like he's on the back of every milk carton in every grocery store in America. That could potentially be Jordan Love if Aaron Rodgers decides to play for 2 more years. Like, this kid may not ever get an opportunity, and I don't understand, how you mend that fence with him as well, because now you may have a broken star, and Aaron Rodgers is going to leave your house divided.
When we hear from him later, do we need any details on what actually was bothering him? I need clarity. I want to hear exactly what the problem was.
Yeah, because Chris, when I get up there and one day I'm going to meet my maker and guys want to talk to me and I'm saying, wait, God, before you judge me, I wasted about 16 hours on the Aaron Rodgers thing. Can I get that back? Can you send me back to Earth? Let me have a great time because I can't get that time back. And that was unfair for me to have to follow Aaron Rodgers for those 16 hours of my life that I can't get back. Give me those back, guy, and then you can tell me if I'm going to heaven or hell.
Yeah, see, for me, when I meet God, it's going to be, let me provide a little context into what you're talking about right now and some of the incidents we're referring to. That aside, though, but for instance, like, here's more Gutekunst. Let's hear more from the Packers GM on if Rodgers now has more say in personnel decisions.
No, I think, Aaron's had kind of the same input he's always had, I think, which has been a lot. And he's earned a place at the table, I think he always has. I think one of the things to this offseason, I think, is learning how to incorporate that.
Really? So, like, you're just going to talk to me like I'm dumb. So, Aaron Rodgers was being consulted. He's been, you were talking to him like, yeah, absolutely. I would love a tree trunk running back in Aaron Dillon. And with all these great second-round draft picks out there, give me a ground and pound, 1 yard in a cloud of dust tailback. Wrong. See, that's what I'm talking about. When you double down on the ignorance, like, it just makes me want to, I don't know. Does Gutekunst have the most punchable face now because he's wasted my life?
I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people lining up for that distinction. there really are. I mean, it's a competition right now. And one last thing that really in particular bothers me about the whole situation. Aaron Rodgers sat there and talked about how on SportsCenter about how he plays for the fans.
Yes.
He plays for his teammates.
Yes.
You left all of these people guessing in the offseason as to whether or not they were going to have you in the future. However you want to put this together, you just made it completely about you. And when you have the audacity, when you've won one championship, one in your career, 17 years, one. When that's been the case, and you're going to put yourself and Davante Adams and compare yourself to Jordan and Pippen? I mean, you talk about a lack of complete self-awareness. That's what we're dealing with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, man, his ego is bigger than his resume. Now, listen, he's the baddest man on the planet, right? But you would anticipate and think
Is he?
Well, listen, as a quarterback, I don't know if he's as far as a leader, right? And I told you, I read the quote yesterday from the coach that was dismissed from the team.
Winston Moss.
Winston Moss. He says, when is somebody going to hold number 12 accountable? And I listen, no matter what we know about the story, about what Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay has been about, they know the whole story, right? So they know the stories that won't get reported because they're going to protect Aaron Rodgers from the media. They're not going to tell the things that he's done or the things that he hasn't done. So I feel like they gave him a soft landing because they can tell his secrets, like Alicia Keys if they wanted to. But, if it's just a peek into the window, the Winston Moss saying, hey, hold 12 accountable means that he's been walking around, like he was the franchise and maybe feeling himself, which he should, right? He's the best player in the world. But not everybody tries to invoke on that power that they have, right? I mean, Tom Brady could have walked around like an arrogant person, but people tell the stories of Tom Brady, how he knows the third person on the roster, the third round draft pick. He's pulling them to the side and talking about, hey, if you need anything from me, just let me know. Right. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming off with that same type of brand.
I need this from you, though. Please admit that a few Mondays ago, after that stupid golf tournament in Montana, when I was annoyed as I was about Aaron Rodgers, it turns out I wasn't wrong. Give me that.
You were right. Christopher Baby Buddha, your wisdom once again has enlightened me. The glow coming from your chin, your chakra, was correct. Your intuition was correct, Christopher. I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. I just
congratulations,
want to know that
you played yourself.
Nuts.
You weren't. I mean, I've never been so disappointed. Like I said, I'm really gonna ask Jesus. As a matter of fact, I might go and call my pastor and tell him, hey, can you just talk to Jesus and tell him I need those rollover minutes on my life? Tell him just go ahead and throw them up.
The last time I checked, Jesus isn't T-Mobile. I'm not clear on that. Something else I'm not clear on is the fact that Bart is out at Jets camp today, and he has gotten exactly the same amount of reps as Zach Wilson has. And he has seen the offense a little bit more than Zach Wilson has.
Well, Robert Saleh is sitting right next to me. He gave me a pound before he went and sat down with Pat Curran for Sirius Radio. You want me to tell him what's up? You want to ask him?
Of course.
I don't know if he'll like that answer. I don't know.
Probably
I tell you what, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Robert Saleh. He jacked up on Mountain Dew, man. He really is Xerxes.
And you're saying that.
He really is Xerxes, man. This dude is lean. His calves got vein nations all over the place, man. This dude's like, you remember last year who was that? Was that Vrabel said that he'll take on any coach in the league. I don't know if he want no smoke from Saleh. I looked at Vrabel. He looked like he enjoying some of that Tennessee barbecue a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think he was talking about Andy Reid when he said that. Listen, that aside, the fact that the Jets pick, the second overall pick in the draft, is not there yet because of two smaller contractual hangups, that's frustrating. Now, just for those who are unaware what the situation is here and why he hasn't signed, as far as we know, it's two issues. One is his signing bonus and when he would actually get it. Yeah. The Jets want to defer it until 2022 or a good portion of it, whereas he would want it within the first 30 days, which is not unheard of. That's usually the case with most very high picks, that they get at least a good chunk of that money right away. And then the second is something that you've heard more and more about the last few years, which is offset language. And what that means is if Zach Wilson in 3 years, in 4 years gets cut, then he can go somewhere else and double dip on his salary. In other words, whatever the Jets owe him, his new salary doesn't just get deducted from that. He wants to be able to go to a new team and get $3 million, but still get exactly what he could from the Jets. Me providing that context of what the issues are, how big of a deal is this right now when you've already had a practice and he's not there?
Well, listen, we've seen this with first-round draft picks all the time, not really coming to camp on time. What we're not accustomed to is seeing a first-round pick that is really the unquestioned starter going into the camp, not showing up. You would think that, you can get those things figured out. And from Zach Wilson's, standpoint, you have to understand where he's coming from. He's watched the number 3 overall pick, one pick, after him, and Sam Darnold not make it to the end of that contract. So you want to make sure that you can double dip, that you can have an opportunity to be able to get as much money as you can, because it's not guaranteed. We always assume that it's going to go the right way, but just look at we talked about Rosen as well, right? We talked about Rosen. We haven't seen him, who's he playing for now? He's been on Tampa, he's been on Miami, he's been on Arizona. So you fight for those little things in case the worst case scenario occurs. And I think they'll figure it out. He'll get here. Right now, he's not missing much. Today was pretty much a day of nothing burger, just kind of getting the rust off guys. It was very fast practice. Practice was over at 11:48. They started at 10:20, so that's only an hour and 20-minute practice. Solid believes in all gas, no brakes. So it was more about being efficient than it was about multiple reps and getting it all done. Yes, he misses the opportunity to really bond with his teammates and start that process. But at the end of the day, the 2 days that he missed won't equate to anything.
Well, this is Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Here's my problem, though, Bart. It's twofold. I think it's on both sides. Yeah. Number one, if you're the Jets, what's the big deal about giving the bonus now versus in 2022? It's a cash flow thing, but it's not like they can't afford it. Business is still pretty good despite recent news events at Johnson & Johnson the last time I checked.
Was disconnected with the baby powder, but listen, they still, like to your point, Chris, they have plenty of salary cap space, and I anticipate them to be able to upgrade this team as more players are going to get cut from training cap casualties, things of that sort. Some of the young players playing well, and I don't think the little guaranteed money that they give Zach is going to really affect their bottom line at all. To your point.
No, and so to me that. I don't think it's unreasonable when you've seen a lot of these top-tier quarterbacks or picks get that money within 10 days in some cases, if not 30 days of actually signing the contract. But here's where I have a problem with Wilson. That double-dipping thing, I get it, okay? But to me, that's more about the agent. And I was talking to an agent yesterday about this very topic, and it's a bigger issue there. If you're an agent and you have the number 2 pick in the draft, and you can't get that language removed from the contract, allowing your guy to double dip. Well, next year, when you're fighting to try to sign one of the top picks to represent, other agents are going to use that against you. Hey, he might have cost you $2 and $3 million right there. So this, to me, is not so much about Zach Wilson as much as it's about Zach Wilson's agent protecting his own business and the future of it.
No, absolutely, right. You want to make sure that you're always on par, because that players always, or our agents are always like fishing, and always looking to snatch other players. So you definitely want to make sure you're able to make sure that you're always seen in a proper light. And also, it's a marketing ploy for yourself. Like, listen, I fight for the little things for my client, right? I'll fight for the little things. I'll fight for 10% if that's what we agreed upon. So it's more about the agent and their ego than it is actually about the player, because the player doesn't really understand. Like, what's the difference to him? You know what I mean? Like, whether he gets the $10 million or he gets, this year, or he gets it, in a roster bonus in the time next year. Like, he's still going to get it, still guaranteed.
Yep.
And this stuff's all slotted. This stuff's all slotted anyway. Like, that's a good thing about the new CBA is you don't have to worry about, really negotiating, fighting, and bringing people contracts up. It's all slotted.
This has been Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. What a show we have got for you today. Bart, as you can tell us, as we told you, is out of Jets camp today.
I'm going to order an omelet in a minute, too. I forgot how great they treat athletes around here. I had a great breakfast for free $99.
So you walked in the door, and they just assumed that this was 2012, and you got the kind of breakfast that you were expecting to get and forgot how good the food is.
I just forgot, man. I forgot the options. I mean, I got some chorizo, eggs, and I was like, do I want oatmeal or do I want grits? Well, man, I had grits in a long time. Then I saw this Danish that was just sitting there. It was calling me. It was like, hey, Bart, I'm available. And I was like, guess what? I'm in the market for anything. So go ahead. I'll take that too. And it's like the array of drinks. And as a matter of fact, while we were talking, Chris, I got a cramp from talking, right? Because I felt like my food really hadn't digested yet. So, I'm really going to need this first break to get my mind right.
Well, we're going to talk to C.J. Mosley in just a little bit, the Jets linebacker. That's going to be great. We're going to hear from Aaron Rodgers later as he addresses the media as well for the first time since showing up in camp. So there's so much to do on this show, including hearing from you at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Bart and Hahn on ESPN Radio is presented by Goodyear, helping you discover the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven. Chris Carlin, Bart Scott. Bart is out at Jets camp today. Up next, a lot of talk around the Olympics and Simone Biles, the decision prioritizing her mental health. We will get into that and look at both sides of this, especially from the athlete standpoint with Bart in moments. Bart and Hahn, ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
It's Shea Cornette and Thursday, and Keyshawn, Jalen Zubin. The one quarterback, Bart Scott, thinks could take a Josh Allen-type leap. And where in the world is the Jets franchise quarterback? That's Thursday morning on ESPN Radio.
The Dave single from Wendy's made with fresh, never frozen beef has the power to blow your mind. But now that the Dave single is buy one, get one for $1, as well as the spicy or classic chicken sandwich and the spicy or crispy 10-piece nuggets, Wendy's BOGO for $1 deal is gonna blow your mind and your speakers. Get these faves. BOGO $1 only at Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with combo or any other offer.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstar batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Friends, demand for unskilled workers is sky high, but who wants that life? There's demand for hundreds of thousands of IT and cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. My Computer Career is training people to meet it. Get skilled. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Through July, grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. On that heavy shelf you hung yesterday. Turns out you didn't use enough anchors. Wait, you didn't use any anchors? Now you've got an open floor plan. Trendy. And if you have the wrong home insurance, you could need a wall of money to fix this. So get home insurance with Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Norfolk, Illinois.
Come share a special evening on Sunday, August 15th at the 47th Annual New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet at the Albuquerque Convention Center. Former Cibola and NFL player Alan Branch, Holly Holm, Danny Romero, and basketball greats Rob Evans, Carolyn Thompson, Jimmy Collins, and Nick Pino will all be inducted. Ticket deadline is July 30th. Visit 1017theteam.com for tickets at a special price of $75. That's 1017theteam.com.
If what you want is high quality at affordable prices in meat, seafood, beer, wine, bakery, produce, and general grocery items, then you must visit El Mezquita Supermarket. At El Mezquita, you can count on having personalized attention by an eligible butcher and everything you need in your grocery list. This week's specials include beef shoulder for grilling, $3.99 a pound, New York steaks, $5.99 a pound, jumbo raw shrimp, $5.99 a pound, 18-pack of Michelob Ultra, $15.99, 18-pack of Budweiser and Bud Light, $14.99, and many more. For all of our specials or to find a location near you, visit our website, elmezquitamarket.com.
Hey, remember the greats?
Those who had impact and built legacies through sports, music, entertainment, and history.
The Duke City is excited to announce the grand opening of All In Autographs on Wyoming, just south of Manal.
Finally, Albuquerque has a store to find all the autographed items a collector could ever want.
But All In Autographs doesn't just have sports memorabilia. All In Autographs has music, entertainment, and historical pieces.
Come and visit and select your piece of memorabilia.
All In Autographs at 2225 Wyoming in Hoffmantown Square, or check us out at allinautographs.com.
Hi, I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage, and proud to be a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. Being local carries many positives for consumers, such as being able to meet face-to-face. You will receive quick response times, and all loans are processed here locally. And you will always talk with the same people from application to funding. All of our employees live here, and all profits from loan origination stay right here in New Mexico. Indigo Mortgage believes in supporting our local economy, and if at all possible, we use local vendors for supplies and technical support. I personally hire and vet all loan officers, and I assure you that your loans will be dealt with both ethically and with knowledge. Indigo Mortgage can offer the best rates and terms available on the market, so contact us today. On the net at indigomortgage.net or by calling 836-5700. That's 836-5700. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan. NMLS 188348.
From Disney.
My brother and I are looking for passage upriver.
10,000 to bring you there alive. Dead is 15,000.
Why should I pay more dead?
Dead, I'd have to carry you. Dead's a lot harder, lady. On July 30th, the movie event of the summer. Here we go. Arrives.
Fire!
Torpedo. We're good. Disney's Jungle Cruise, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters July 30th. Get tickets now or pre-order it on Disney Plus with Premier Access. Additional fee required.
Tomorrow, the future of your NBA team is now.
Every pick matters.
The NBA Draft. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC. Presented by Credit Karma. Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio.
Finds a ball to deep left field and gone. Guerrero hits a screaming line drive into the bullpen.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays head to Fenway to face J.D. Martinez and the Boston Red Sox.
Turns and watches it go. A 3-run homer for J.D. Martinez.
The Blue Jays and Red Sox. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Coming up Wednesday, NFL training camps are getting underway. We'll let you know who's due for a big 2021 season. Plus, Myron Metcalf stops by to help get us ready for the upcoming NBA draft. That's Wednesday, Janae Angola Jr., 4 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
Friends, demand for unskilled workers is sky high, but who wants that life? There's demand for hundreds of thousands of IT and cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. My Computer Career is training people to meet it. Get skilled. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Through July, grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Are we ready for the 5:30 pickup? Cam's Courier Service's newest hire delivered his resignation.
Hey, Ray, who's handling?
She now needs next day shipping on a new driver.
All these boxes here, are they ingoing or are they outgoing?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed. Indeed you do.
With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Heard you're buying a car. I brought my calculator.
Dad, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. I found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly. Instead of all that.
You know those things impact your credit score.
Didn't impact my credit score, Dad. Now I'm going to the dealership for a test drive and to make the purchase.
Sounds too easy.
No, it's just easy. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/auto navigator.
Hi, this is Vin Scully, and you're listening to the flagship station for UNM Lobo Baseball, ESPN Radio 1017 The Team.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers expected to be a participant as the Packers hold their first practice of training camp today. GM Brian Gutekunst told reporters the team and Rodgers reps continue to work out some things. They're reportedly finalizing a rework deal containing concessions Green Bay hopes will convince the future Hall of Famer to return for at least one more season. Quarterback Trey Lance, third overall pick in the NFL draft, signed his 4-year, $34 million fully guaranteed contract with the 49ers. That leaves Jets QB Zach Wilson as the last unsigned first-round pick from the draft. Colts signed tackle Braden Smith to 4 years, $72 million. That extension has $42 million guaranteed. According to Ravens coach John Harbaugh, quarterback Lamar Jackson, running back Gus Edwards have both tested positive for COVID-19, neither practicing today. Jackson had tested negative for days before testing positive yesterday.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog.
I'll tell you, a very interesting situation with Simone Biles and a lot of interesting reactions as well. It is Chris Carlin, Bart Scott on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. Bart and Hahn. Visit creditkarma.com/win money to open your free account and start winning Instant Karma. Instant Karma is sponsored by Credit Karma. No purchase necessary. Exclusions and terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank Incorporated. Member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply. So for those who have not heard, Simone Biles, as we know yesterday, pulled out of the team competition citing mental health issues with her preparation to participate. The American gymnastic team got a silver medal in the competition yesterday, and then today it was announced that she would be not participating in the all-around that is tomorrow. Now, Bart, before we get into this, let's hear from Simone Biles a little bit on exactly how she arrived at the decision to bow out.
If you could sort of tell us, was there any injury? That was one thing we wanted to know. And if you can elaborate on maybe the stress you've been feeling. We all know when you're in the spotlight, we can imagine what it's like.
No, no injury, thankfully. And that's why I took a step back, because I didn't want to do something silly out there and get injured. So I thought it was best if these girls took over and did the rest of the job, which they absolutely did. They're Olympic silver medalists now, and they should be really proud of themselves for how well they did last minute having to go in. And it's been really stressful, this Olympic Games. I think just as a whole, not having an audience, there are a lot of different variables going into it. It's been a long week. It's been a long Olympic process. It's been a long year. So just a lot of different variables, and I think we're just a little bit too stressed out, but we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case.
All right, Bart, how about it? Your take on Simone Biles, especially from the athlete perspective.
I mean, it's tough, right? Because it's never the wrong time to admit that you're having issues and say, hey, I need to get help. But damn, that's just bad timing, right? I mean, if they would have known that they weren't going there, maybe they could have took a different approach. But yeah, at this point, they're all in with you and they're dependent on you. And I'm glad that she dropped out today for the overall, because that would have came off as selfish, that she couldn't be there for her teammates to win a group medal, but then she competed for an individual medal, which is only benefits her. But if I'm a former team and I have mixed emotions, like maybe we could have helped you through this and you didn't have to have your best day for us to win gold. And you talk about losing money, right? You know, that's a lot of money to lose, because listen, America and sponsors usually only reward number one. And silver medal, that's a great medal, right? That's something that you can show your kids. That's a hell of an accomplishment, but it ain't number one. And to quote the great Will Ferrell and Talladega Nights. If you ain't first, you last. And this was an opportunity, and I don't want to make fun of someone having